are you guys like, getting struck in between? Is it for everyone or is it only me? I'm not getting your voice.
You
My network issue,
Sorry.
is it?
Yes, we think so.
I'll join again from like another one.
Okay, we are right now live, so please join us up. Oh, yes, so I think it is now, the debate is now live. Uh, it is live streamed on YouTube, and we have all the participants and all the judges, including uh, the national officers present here. Uh, Few are left to join due to some earlier time constraint. So let me start with my introduction first. I am Ishita Anand. I am a third year medical student from Narendra Modi Medical College, that is in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. And I am also the National Officer on Human Rights and Peace for the term 2025-26 in MSAI. I am a great SCORP enthusiast. So, yes, I want to hand over the mic to Gia for her introduction.
Hello everyone, I am Jia Mehta. I am currently serving as a national officer on sexual and reproductive health and right, including HIV and AIDS, and serving as a program coordinator for realizing SRHR at IFMSA. And I am very happy to have you all with us and our amazing icons, our judges, to in our this very special campaign conducted on 16 days of activism. And that's it from my side. I will like to hand over the mic to Ovia.
Hello guys, good evening to everyone. I am Ovia TS, a final year medical student at Stanley Medical College and also serving as the National Public Health Officer alongside Drashti Rati, who is not able to join us today. I'm so happy to have all of you here and thank you judges and welcome to the debate. We are really glad to have you to judge this event today. And voices especially, I am so glad that we collaborated with the SCORP and SCORA to bring a public health perspective for gender-based violence. I think this is the first time that we are collaborating with SCORP and SCORA on GBV. So all of you have participated amazingly throughout the WhatsApp discussion, and I really hope you learned a thing or two about GBV through public health lens and definitely through the SCORP and SCORA lens as well. You have traveled so far, and I congratulate all of you for first of all participating in the debate, and all the best. All of you are gonna do great. Yes. Thank you, Jia. Let me pass the floor back to her.
Uh, I think the floor will go to Ishita.
Thank you so much, Jia and Ovia. Uh, Today we are gathered here for the final, semi-final and final debate of voices, and I would like to give a little bit brief about the campaign uh, that is here. So, voices.
Ishita, I think you are not audible. Okay. You can hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello, am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so sorry, my Bluetooth is a bit of an issue every time. Uh, okay. So, today we are gathered here for the debate of voices. So, let me give a little bit of brief about what voices is. So, voices is valuing opinions and providing inclusivity, counseling, and empowering survivors. It is basically uh, we have held this for the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, and we had choose this to create a safe space where every story, every feeling, and every voice truly matters. It is a collaboration between three committees, that is SCORA, SCORP, and SCOPH. So we had a 9 days of WhatsApp discussion on different cases of scenarios where GBV was happening in different situations. And today we are here for the semi-final and final debate. So uh, that's the introduction of voices. I would like to go ahead and give a little bit of introduction for the judges we have present here. We have two judges present here. We have Leila Kavadoa. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Please correct me.
It's Leila Jawadova, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. Thank you very much.
Okay. Uh, so sorry for that. Okay. Just a second. Gia, can you take this up? I think I have some issue going on with Zoom.
It's completely okay. Leila is a fifth year public health student at Azerbaijan Medical University and currently serves as a program coordinator for environment and health. Her work focuses on how environmental and social conditions shape health outcomes with a strong interest in creating safe, equitable, and supportive spaces for all individuals. She is passionate about addressing the broader determinants of well being, including those linked to safety, dignity, and human rights. Thank you so much, Laila, for joining us today, and we'd really love if you can speak a line or two to our participants.
Thank you very much, Tia. I appreciate that. Well, good evening, everyone. And first of all, thank you very much for inviting me as a judge for today's debate. It's an honor to be part of this discussion that connects gender justice, climate responsibility, and public health. I am really looking forward to hear your thoughts, your ideas, and your arguments from all the teams. I'm wishing all the best, you guys. Thank you very much again.
Thank you, Leila. For our next judge, we have Dr. Partho Saha with us. So, Dr. Partho Saha has graduated in Bachelor's of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery from Kasturba Medical College. He has served at national and international level. He is currently serving as the Vice President of External Affairs and served as a National Officer on Sexual and Reproductive Health and Right, including HIV and AIDS, and SCORA Regional Assistant for Asia Pacific region in the past. He brings a deep experience, a passion for inclusive advocacy, and a commitment to create a safe and healthier environment. Thank you so much, Partho, for joining us. And I would love to hand over the mic to you to share a few lines.
Thank you so much, Gia, for inviting me. And it feels like a full circle moment for me because where 2 terms back when I was a national officer, even we had our campaign for 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, which ran for 16 days. Now, when I think of it, it was insane, like how we pulled it off. But yeah, that's great that, this year that the three standing committees did it together and you all pulled it off. kudos to you people. And today, it not only ends the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, but today is also the World Human Rights Day. So it is very important for us to remember, exactly why we are here, why we are voicing our, stances on different things. And so it is a great initiative, and kudos to all the participants who could take out the time to learn and, be part of this dialogue, because not a lot of people are being part of these dialogues. And the environment that we are in now, it is said we are regressing when it comes to, human rights, gender-based violence. We are moving backwards. So it is very important we have such spaces and, try to move forward from here. So it is great, and best of luck to all the participants. And would be great to hear, a lot of opinions, a lot of perspectives in your debate. Thank you. Thank you again for inviting me, Jia and Ishita and Ovia.
Thank you so much, Partho. Now we will go forwards with the debate. Ishita, can you take over if your net is working, or do you want me to continue?
Yes, I can continue. Okay. So for today, we had the first debate rounds yesterday, and out of 8 debate teams, we are pleased to announce that we have 4 debate teams with us today. So, the first team is Team A, Ashmit Chaudhary, Arun Pranesh, Reisa Rana, that is Team A. Are all of Team A participants present here?
Yes, but I mean, only me and Arun are there. Ashmit will not be able to make it now because he has postings.
Okay, not an issue. Uh, Both the teams, Team A and Team B, will be participating in the first debate. The Team B is Garima Mehra, Ritu Sarate, and Abdul Aziz M. Are all of the members of Team B present here? Okay. So, for the first debate, the topic is international climate agreements. Example, the Paris Agreement should include legally binding provisions to address and prevent gender based violence exacerbated by climate change. The Team B is the proposer, and Team A is the opposition. I would like to inform the format we have today for the debates that will be used for the semi-final and final round. The debate format is, for each team opening statement, one speaker will get 2 minutes. So that is 4 minutes in total. For further arguments for opening statement, one speaker from each team will get 2 minutes. That adds up to another 4 minutes. In the rebuttal round, we will have questions for each team will be asked from the judges. 30 seconds will be given to them to prepare, and 2 minutes will be given for the rebuttal round for the team to answer the questions from the judges. So, for concluding the rebuttal round from each team, it will be total 4 minutes. For closing statement, we will have 1 minute to each team, and that will be 2 minutes. So, concluding the complete debate of two teams will be 14 minutes in total. Is the format understood by the participants and the judges, or shall I repeat it once? Okay. For the opening statements and arguments and the rebuttal round, the timer will uh, we will announce when the timer starts, and it will be reminded at when 30 seconds are remaining. it is very important for all of the participants and the speakers to make sure they conclude the and rounds within the time frame, as no extra time will be given. Can we start with the debate one if team B is ready? Okay. Judges, do you want me to repeat the debate topics and the proposer or team participants? Okay. I have the timer prepared. Whenever the team B member they want to start, please let me know. Who is the speaker for or opening statement of team B? Please raise your hand.
I'm going to be giving the opening statements for Team B.
Okay. You can go ahead when you are ready.
All right, can we start now?
Sure. Your timer starts.
Okay. Hi everyone, we're Team B and we're supporting the idea that climate agreements must address not just environmental damage, but the human consequences of climate change as well. When climate disasters hit, they don't just destroy land and infrastructure, but they reshape social conditions entirely. That's why these agreements have to consider human impact and not just emissions. One of the most consistent human impacts of climate stress is gender based violence. Gendered violence isn't a separate social issue, it's a direct, documented outcome of instability, unsafe shelters, and economic loss. We have seen this repeatedly after the 2010 Haiti earthquakes, the 2022 Pakistan floods. There was a lack of secure shelters, which led to rise in sexual violence, early marriage. Girls were pulled out of school. Trafficking increased as families lost security and income. So, if our climate agreements talk about protecting livelihoods, water, forest, and health, but ignore the predictable surge of violence faced by vulnerable groups, then they're only doing half the job. Including legally binding GBV provisions would make climate agreements much stronger and more practical. It would require governments to integrate GBV prevention into disaster plans, build safer shelters with lightning, security, train responders, collect data, and allocate proper funding. These steps don't complicate climate action, they make adaptation far more
30
effective.
seconds remaining.
If we don't incorporate GBV provisions, we'll continue creating disaster plans that look good only on paper but fall in the moment they need it the most. Vulnerable groups will remain exposed and services will stay reactive instead of prevented. That's why adding GBV preventions isn't optional. It strengthens climate agreements, improves disaster planning, and aligns with the climate policy with the real world risks and issues. And with that, we would conclude the opening statement.
Thank you so much, Garima. Uh, can we have the speaker from team A, that is the opposition team?
Yeah, from the opposition team, like, is it all going to be alternate, not like yesterday? One, is it? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. As per the format, we have
Okay.
2 minutes each for the opening statement from each team, and that is given by one speaker. After that, for the second argument, we will have another speaker for 2 minutes each.
Okay.
Yes. So from the opposition team, can we have the
So,
speaker?
yes, I'm the first speaker. So, should I go with it?
Yeah. Continue. Your time starts.
Honorable judges, respected opponents. Wait, 1 second. I'm sorry. My video is off, right? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So sorry. 1 second. Right. Honorable judges, respected opponents. A simple reminder: when we overload climate agreements with every global injustice, we risk achieving none. The Paris Agreement was historic: 196 nations uniting around one goal: limiting global warming.
That unity, though, is fragile. Making gender based violence legally binding within climate treaties risks turning climate cooperation into social policy enforcement that no country can implement through a carbon framework. A further problem with this motion is overlapping mandates. The United Nations already has specialized GBV mechanisms like its monitoring committee, the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW, and initiatives like Spotlight, designed with gender specific expertise and accountability. Climate treaties lack this authority. Embedding GBV into them creates jurisdictional confusion and enforcement gaps. CEDAW's Article 5, for example, focuses on eliminating discriminatory social norms, which is clearly outside the scope of climate governance. Cyclones don't enforce laws, floods don't prosecute crimes. Weak institutions do. And binding GBV clauses would also fracture negotiations consensus. Some states would view them as unrelated or sovereignty intrusive,
30
delaying
seconds
urgent
remaining.
climate action. This is, we do not support do nothing. It is using the right tools, that is stronger national disaster laws, UN GBV frameworks, safety shelters, protection systems, and voluntary NDC integration. So we conclude saying, let climate treaties fight climate change and let justice systems fight GBV. Thank you.
Thank you, Resha. Can we have for the second round the second speaker from Team B?
Am I audible?
Yes, Abdul. Uh, you may start whenever you are ready.
Yeah, one second. Yeah, can I start?
Yes, your timer starts.
So, honorable judges, respected opponents, and my fellow speakers. Hi. So, the disaster is converting into is decreasing the socioeconomic status, which is affecting the livelihood of the people, and their identity got lost, their lives got lost, their homes and everything got lost, and they become vulnerable to harassment and assault, especially the women and the girls. So in climate change, especially the Paris Agreement, what my opponent said, like 196 countries have come together to for decreasing the greenhouse gas emission and decrease in temperature about 2 degrees Celsius, and they are part of the UN framework convention on climate change. And the climate change is a climate which is climate crisis, which is converting into a human crisis, and we are asking not to reduce the focus on the climate change, but we are asking to make a framework to stop both, to reduce the impact of gender-based violence due to the climate change, due to floods and disasters, especially in countries like India, where floods and landslides happen in tribal areas, and the person who is responsible to help the people to ensure the camps to produce the funds is himself or herself is involved in harassment, is involved in reducing the safe camps and not providing adequate response to
30
people
seconds remaining.
who are vulnerable to this. So promises don't protect people, laws does. So laws should be enforced by these countries for ensuring proper shelter, safe camp, and especially safe reporting systems for vulnerable people. And gender-based violence prevention is a global responsibility. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you, Abdul. Can we have the speaker from Team A for the second
Good
round?
evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, Arun.
Okay,
You may
so
start.
yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, yes, gender-based violence is a massive global threat. But tonight's motion is not about whether GBV matter, it's about whether climate treaties are capable of enforcing justice. And structurally, legally, and practically, the answer is no. Nearly 99% of GBV is underreported. If national police systems struggle to even record it, how exactly will a climate treaty enforce it? There is no global climate police, no climate court for sexual violence, no UNFCCC runs justice system. So what the proposition calls binding law becomes symbolic compliance without any real protection. We've seen this gap in real disasters. After the 2015 Nepal earthquake, A lot of sexual violence surged, but accountability failed because policing has collapsed, not because a treaty clause was missing. After Cyclone Amphan in 2020, GBV rose in displacement zones, not because lighting standards were absent on paper, but because there were no officers, no fast track courts that was functioning. There were enforcement failures, not climate policy failures. Now, for the funding myth, climate finance is already short by over $100 billion a year. Making GBV mitigation legally mandatory under climate funds creates a zero sum trade off. More money for monitoring and compliance means less money for emission cuts, cyclone shelters, and clean energy transition. This is not justice. This is just misallocation. And to
30
those who say
seconds remaining.
climate change causes GBV, climate stress aggravates vulnerability, yes, but the true drivers remain patriarchy, impunity, weak policing, and broken justice system. Carbon accounting does not reform these institutions. We reject this legal compulsion. Our counter model is precise voluntary GBV integration and national adaptation, UN spotlight, and soft law guidance from UNFCCC, not coercive mandate. So the moment justice becomes a checkbox, the surveyors do not gain protection,
Your
they
time's up.
lose enforceability.
Yes. Thank you. Uh, so that concludes the two rounds for debate one. Uh, can we have questions for the team B from the judges side?
I I have one question for Team B. I think that's the proposers, right? Okay, so
Yes.
uh, that's great that you all are talking about integrating gender-based violence when it comes to uh, you know, uh, documents and agreements. But what about the other marginalized population? Because if we start adding all marginalized population to all our agreements, it becomes a very difficult way to integrate those policies and documents into its implementation part. So why only choose GBV and leave out other things like specially able people or people from lower socioeconomic status and different other criteria of social construct.
Thank you so much, Partho. Do we have a question from Leila?
Yes, I have. Can I give them?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So my question is, which international institution should be responsible for enforcing legally binding GBV provisions within climate treaties, and how would compliance be monitored? Thank you.
Uh, Thank you so much, Leila. Team B, you have 30 seconds to prepare for the answer. Ten seconds remaining. Okay, so the time's up. Team B, can you present the answers?
Right, I
Your
would be
timer
taking
has started.
the question that we were presented firstly was that why not include EWS and other marginalized societies, and why only GBV, and why should like climate policies cover it? Well, first of all, other marginalized groups are absolutely vulnerable during these climate disasters, but their risks are already built into the climate policy. Existing provisions on livelihood laws, relief distribution, economic support, and rehabilitation exists. GBV is different. It is the only form of harm that shows a consistent and documented spike because of climate instability in shelters during evacuation and in the breakdown of safety system that makes GBV a direct climate risk. Like it is directly proportional to that, and it is not just a general social issue. So we're not saying include every social group, we're saying include the one that is at the risk during all the climate, like during the climate disasters, and include them in the agreement systematically, and overlook and which cannot be addressed through economic or livelihood measures alone. And adding GBB isn't expanding the treaty, it's correcting the single biggest protection gap in the climate adaptation.
Okay, you have 30 seconds remaining if you want to add anything, or the other
Oh,
speakers want to.
yeah, right. I think the second question, one of my teammates can take it up.
Yeah, I will. So the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, the UN Women, and United Nations Human Rights Council, as well as the World Health Organization, are responsible for gender-based violence. Uh, as I said before, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change is the one who is
Your time's up.
okay.
Thank you so much, Team B. Uh, Team A, judges, do you have any questions for the opposition team?
I have a question. So, okay, if climate change has been shown to increase GBU risk, why should climate agreements avoid addressing this issue?
Thank you, Leila. Partho, do we have a question from your end?
No, I had a similar question, so I think Laila's question also covers my question. So I think they can go ahead with it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Team A, you are given 30 seconds to prepare. You can start after this or whenever you are ready. Ten seconds remaining.
Okay. So can I start?
Okay.
Uh,
So
Arun, would you like to go first?
yes, if you don't know.
Okay.
Your time
Well,
has started.
okay, I think they should avoid putting GBV inside the climate treaties because it weakens enforcement, and this actually weakens climate cooperation, and it ultimately weakens protection for the survivors themselves. Because if you start adding all these under one umbrella, why don't you add, malnutrition, child labor that is caused by these disasters and all of these, climate change? And where does it stop? It just weakens the treaties. Already, treaties themselves, all the countries dance around like what to do, and no country likes being said that they have a high rate of GBV happening in their country. So they would just give you wrong statistics. So that's what happens, I think. And the agreements that decide to handle emission targets, energy transition, and climate finance, they are not, you know, uh, equipped to like police intervention. They don't handle all the real world happening right now stuff.
Yeah.
So,
So
Raisa, do you want to add anything?
yes. So because you said why not include it in climate, not you as the jury asked, why not include it in climate change? Why? Because there's already United Nations has particular monitoring committees like we mentioned in our speech, the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination, and we will also suggest that they can take up stronger disaster laws like on the national level, and also we can use the United Nations spotlight mechanisms and also survivor focused funding. We can, instead of going legally binding treaties, we can go for non-binding treaties where we have consistently seen higher participation from various
30
countries.
seconds remaining.
And thus we don't say that it has to be there in climate treaties, but rather already existing United Nations committees can take up into this. Arun, if you want, you can add up.
Well, I think when you legally bind it, it's just compliant on paper. So if a weaker country loses their funding as a complication of not enforcing all this, and if they get funding cut off, won't the survivor just lose more protection? Won't they just be more vulnerable? So,
Your time's
and
up.
responsibility becomes blurred. Okay, thank you.
Uh, so with that, we have ended the rebuttal round. We will be taking up the closing statement. Can we have the proposer team?
Am I audible?
Yes, Ritu.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Your 1 minute timer starts now.
Honorable judges, good evening. We must remember one truth: climate change does not impact all people equally. It hits the most vulnerable the hardest. Gender based violence is one of the clearest, most devastating consequences. If our international climate agreements can mobilize trillions of dollars, shape energy policy, and transform economies, then surely they can also protect the lives and dignity of women and gender minorities. Leaving GBB as a voluntary concern is equal to leaving millions
30
unprotected
seconds
in future
remaining.
disasters. Binding provisions are not a burden, they are a guarantee of safety, accountability, and justice. And therefore, Team B stands firm. A climate agreement that ignores GBB is an incomplete agreement. A climate future without protection is not a fair future. For climate action to be meaningful, it must also be human centered. Let us choose protection over neglect, accountability over silence, and justice over vulnerability. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ritu. Can we have the closing statement from Team A?
Yes. Should I start?
Yes, your timer has started.
Honorable judges, ladies, and gentlemen, throughout this debate, one truth has never been in dispute. Gender based violence is a global emergency. But tonight's question is not whether GBV matters. It is whether climate treaties are structurally capable of enforcing justice. And the answer, legally and practically, is no. Climate agreements were built to cut emissions, not to run criminal justice systems. Let me make this clear. We are not rejecting integration. We are rejecting misplaced legal compulsion. Our model is practical. Voluntary GBV integration in
30 seconds
adaptation plans,
remaining.
stronger disaster laws, UN spotlight mechanisms, and survivor focused funding, not forceful treaty mandates, because a treaty that tries to do everything ends up doing nothing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team A. With that, we have concluded our first debate of the semi-final round. Let us move ahead with the second debate for the day. For the second debate, we have Team C and Team D. Team C, we have Archit Mandloy, Harsh Aryan, and Shruti Popat. Are all three members present here? Okay. For Team D, we have Monica M, Shrenik Sohal, Mohammad Arshad. Do we have the members of D present here? So, I will be speaking out the topic we have for second debate. The primary responsibility for ending gender based violence and its associated health impacts, including NCDs, lies with men and boys, as they are most often the perpetrators and hold significant cultural power to change norms. Team D is the proposer, and Team C is the opposition. Do you want me to repeat the topics? Okay, I think it's clear. Uh, can we have the member of Team D, that is the proposer team, uh, who will be opening the statement?
Yes, I will be opening the statement.
Yes. Okay. Whenever you are ready.
A very good evening to one and all present here. Myself, Monica M, will be the first speaker from Team Proposition, here to defend the motion. The primary responsibility for ending gender based violence and its associated health impacts lies with the men and the boys. Now, let us look at what gender based violence is. According to UNICEF, it entails any harm or threat of harm inflicted in a person because of male female power dynamics present in the society. With the feminist movement, women have embraced such freedom of thought and action that the patriarchy has never seen before. While the women have adapted to this independence, the fellow men around them are resistant to change. These men still want the comfort offered by the patriarchy. While feminism spreads equality, it also unfairly increases the gender gap because men refuse to change. This precisely is why gender based violence occurs. And our team strongly believes that unless the men of the society change, gender based violence cannot be curbed. Uh, while men make up most of the perpetrators, some of the most important cultural changes in the society were also brought about by these men. Dr. Ambedkar was an ardent advocate for including gender equality in the Indian Constitution through maternity benefits, inheritance rights of women, reproductive rights, and education. Periyar Ramaswamy from the South was also an
30 seconds
ardent
remaining.
fighter for the to liberate women from the patriarchal structures. Over 60 to 80% of the decision making roles globally are also held by these men. Hence, unless changes from the men in terms of their mindset is made necessary, gender based violence cannot be curbed. I would like to end by stating that from
Your time's up.
perpetrators of violence, men are also agents of change. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monica. Can we have the speaker from team C? That is the opposition team.
Yes, I'm gonna speak.
Yes. Uh, your timer starts.
Good evening, respected judges and one and all present here. This motion states a vital truth. Men and boys hold immense power to prevent violence and must be central to the solution, but to make them primarily responsible for ending gender-based violence and its health impacts like NCD is a neat little shortcut dressed as a social justice. GBV is a systemic issue, not an individual one. It is sustained by powerful structures like institutions, policies, economic inequalities, and social processes that involve everyone. To focus narrowly only on men and boys lets the institution off the hook. It also distempers women, girls, and LGBTQ community, framing men as the sole architects of the change, sidelines decades of feminist leadership and survivor advocacy. Women organizations are frontline defense, providing shelters, legal aid, and driving policy reforms. They must remain at the helm with men as accountable allies, but not the primary directors. The logic of predators are responsible for ending their crime is flawed. We don't place the primary duty to end theft on the thieves, right? But on policing, courts, and social servicing and programs. Furthermore, this creates a moral backlash and reinforces stigma. It overlooks that not all men are predators, yet all are harmed by toxic norms.
30
Asking them
seconds
to solve
remaining.
the problem they didn't all create but can breed resentment, not partnership. Our goal is the same to end GBV, but the victory requires a whole of society approach. It is a shared responsibility across families, schools, and institutions. We need equal distribution of power, resources, and engagement. So let's aim higher than making the perpetrators the planners.
Thank you so much, Shruti. Can we have team D again for the second round?
Yeah, I'm Shrenik and I'll be the second speaker for Team B.
Okay.
I will
Whenever
explain
you're
why men. Okay, I'm starting.
yes.
I will explain why men and boys must take the primary responsibility in ending gender based violence, not as a blame exercise, but as a preventative strategy. To begin with, men are overwhelmingly the perpetrators of GBV. If prevention is our goal, we must address violence at its source. Laws and health systems respond after harm occurs. But unless men examine their attitude towards power, entitlement, and control, GBV will continue across generations. Social changes have altered family structures, relationships, and expectations. Women today have greater agency and voice than before, yet many men continue to operate within these masculine roles shaped by patriarchy. When these outdated ideas go unchallenged, frustration and insecurity often manifest as dominance and violence. Ending GBV, therefore, requires men to consciously reject toxic masculinity and adopt values of respect and equality. Prevention must also begin early. Comprehensive sex education equips boys with knowledge about consent, boundaries, emotional expression, and mutual respect. These lessons counter harmful stereotypes and significantly reduce the likelihood of abusive behavior later in life. Importantly, stating that men and boys hold primary responsibility does not exclude
30
others.
seconds
It
remaining.
identifies where change has the greatest impact. Survivors cannot be expected to stop violence directly at them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Renik. Uh, can we have Team C for the second speaker?
Yes, I'll be making the second speech.
Okay. Whenever you are ready, Harsh.
Yes, shall we go now?
Yes.
Okay, so good evening, the judges present here and everybody. Well, my friend Shruti has exposed this motion's flaws, wherein she states that it dodges the system failures and silences the survival-led movements, and also risks the backslash by overloading men and boys. I'll be bringing in the whole health and NCD angle to it. What I feel basically is that GBV isn't just a violence, it's a public health crisis driving the NCDs, which are obviously the world's top killers at the moment. Survivors face chronic stress and diabetes and PTSD, and there's a lot of trauma going on. In fact, there's a WHO data that estimates that GBV doubles cardiovascular and diabetes risk in women, adding billions to global NCD burden. So, if the primary responsibility lies with men and boys, then who fixes this issue? That's my question, right? Health ministers, do we believe on them? They just come out and say that we ran campaigns, our job's done. They raise their hands. But state-owned, but they must screen GBV and in NCD clinics, right? Like they are the ones who are supposedly the ones responsible for doing the screenings. So what I feel is there should be no shortcut-led governments, and they should not skimp budgets while pretending men alone can legislate to deliver care. Men must
30
challenge
seconds
peers,
remaining.
yes, but without state-led health action, I think GBB's NCD toll explodes, is what I feel. Our model here is a shared but differentiated duties, is what we propose. Men transform norms, states deliver surveillance, services, laws, everyone's primary in their lane. That's my motion, and that's why we reject this very motion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harsh. Um, we will be starting the rebuttal round for Team D, that is the proposer team. Do we have any questions from the judges?
Yeah, I think I would have a question. So
Yes, Partha.
the motion proposes, men frames men as the primary solution. So do you want to recenter men and undermine the decades of, survival-led advocacy that has been happening over the years?
Thank you so much, Partho. Uh, do we have any other questions from Leila?
Yes, I have a question. Does placing responsibility on men or boys will risk reinforcing traditional power of hierarchies? Why or why not?
Thank you so much. Team D, you have 30 seconds to prepare for the questions.
I have a request. Can the first question be repeated?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. I asked, do you want to recenter men who you have, told are the uh, primary solution makers? You want to recenter them and, take away the years of survival-led advocacy that has been uh, going on to tackle gender-based violence when it comes to, policy making and other health related issues.
Is the question clear now, Monica?
Yes, it is clear.
Thank you. Uh, your timer has started. It is a reminder for everyone to keep their cameras on. 10 seconds remaining. Team, you have the rebuttal round timer started.
Okay, I'm Shrenik and I'll be taking the first question given by Sir. So, what I understood from the question is Sir basically asked ki, after so many years, men have been making the rules, men have been making the laws. So, why do we want to change that now just on this topic? So, what I feel like I want to say is ki, times change, and basically what we needed for during independence, we needed freedom fighters, we needed people to fight against injustice done by people in power, compared to something like now when everything is in comfort in a way that there's no one ruling on us. We need different things, there are different changes going on in the world. So, yes, giving some representation to other people will help, if that answers.
I would like to add on to that. Recentering men in the decision-making roles would not strengthen the gender norms, because I believe that even though men, a majority of the men were the perpetrators, they were also driving force for social reforms majorly. So there are both good and bad in that. And presently, a majority of the decision-making roles are held by men. So as it is right now, what we defend is that men with
30 seconds remaining.
men with clarity in decision making and with farsightedness, and men that prioritize equality, these should be encouraged through early sex education, and the chains in the mindset of the men, the regressive thoughts should be broken down, and such men can bring the change. Such men should be will also strengthen the fellow women in terms of representing their struggle. And these men not only support the struggles of the fellow women, but also help in
Your
changing
time's
the
up.
mindset of the other men. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Team D. For the Team C, the opposition team, do we have any questions from the judges? Uh, Leila, do you have any questions?
Okay. Let me ask, how do you ensure accountability without recognizing men as primary perpetrators statistically?
Thank you so much. Partho, do you have any questions?
No, I think they can go ahead with their next question.
Okay. Thank you so much, judges. Team C, you have 30 seconds to prepare. Ten seconds remaining. Team C, whenever you are ready, your time starts now.
Yeah, so I would like to answer the question. What we mean by recording accountability, I feel is it's done by tracking actions and failures at every level. I do not think the perpetrator, institution, state, and community, it all should, be accountable, not just men, is what I feel. Men who commit violence must be fully accountable, obviously, but then also it's the job of ending GBV cannot be reduced to men fix the whole scenario of it, is what I feel. I think the accountability should also be held by the government institutions and also the other sections of the society, because GBV alone is not done by men. Thank you.
I would like to add to this. Since it is a two-way street, we need equal distribution of power, resources, and engagement, and not a blame game disguised as empowerment. So, solutions must be actively involving men, but the primary responsibility should go in the hands of women, LGBTQ, other communities like schools, institutions, and government.
You still have 40 seconds remaining if you want to add anything. Okay, so that's the rebuttal round for the debate 2. Can we have the closing statement from Team D?
Yes. Okay. So can I start?
Yes, your time starts.
So I think we need to stop pretending that change will magically happen if we look only at women. The uncomfortable truth is that men still hold most of the power in parliaments, courts, and in homes. And when you hold the power, you hold responsibility. Every major shift in women's rights in our country, from Ambedkar to Periyar, happened because men choose to confront the very system that benefited them. Men also statistically make up most of the perpetrators of GBV. And if this problem is rooted in
30
male
seconds
behavior,
remaining.
then this solution cannot exclude them. Our opposition argued that GBV is a systemic issue, but since most people who are in a position to change the system are men, I believe their position is weak. And for GBV to truly end, men must unlearn toxic masculinity, embrace equality, and take accountability. Real change starts with the group that holds the power to change the system, and right now, that is still mostly men. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arshad. Can we have Team C with their closing statement?
Yeah, am I audible?
Uh, yes, your
Okay.
time starts.
Honorable judges, respected audience, and my worthy opponents. Our stance is simple yet strong. Ending gender based violence is everyone's responsibility, not just men and boys. Yes, they hold influence and must be part of the solution, but making them primarily responsible turns a shared duty into a blame. Despite their arguments, the proposition left key gaps in explaining how assigning primary responsibility to men alone would address the systemic nature of gender based violence. As our team established,
30
gender
seconds remaining.
violence is upheld by institutions, policies, and social inequalities. So the solution must involve every sector of the society, not just men and boys. If we truly want safer homes, healthier societies, we must build partnership, not point fingers. Ending gender-based violence is a collective mission that requires all of us to stand together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. With that, we have concluded the debate 2 for and completely the semi-final round for today. So before moving forward, we have two announcements to make. Uh, the judges will take a few minutes to decide the finalist team, and we will take a 15 minutes break before starting the final round. We have the final round's topic here. I'll just read it out loud. So, the topic for final debate is legalizing sex work would be the most effective way to reduce human trafficking and GBV within the industry. I'll repeat the topic. Legalizing sex work would be the most effective way to reduce human trafficking and GBV within the industry. We will decide, the judges will decide the final teams within few minutes and we will let all of you know who will be taking part in the final round. Before that, we also want to take a photo with all the semi-finalist participants. Can we have all of your cameras on? Yes. Ritu, can you turn on your camera? Yes. Uh, I think uh, we have the national officer of SCORA, both the national officers present here currently. Mahiba, can you turn on your cameras?
Till the time Mahi turn on her camera, I will just give a brief introduction about Mahi. Mahi Jadeja is the third year medical student and uses the pronoun she and her. She is serving as the National Officer on Sexual and Reproductive Health and Right, including HIV and AIDS 2025-2026, along with me, and she is my Konora. Mahi, can you switch on your camera now, like if the background is okay?
I'm extremely sorry. I'm having very bad network issues. I am facing network issues today. Give me a minute. I'll change my background. Hello, everyone. We met yesterday. I'm sorry for missing your semi-finals round, but I believe you all would have performed as enthusiastically and with the awesome response you have given yesterday. Trust me, you all were my top
I think Mahi's internet is having some issues. So we'll proceed with the photos and then we'll take a 15 minutes break. The topic of the final round has already been announced, so we want you to go through the topic and we'll let you know as soon as the finalists are decided into the WhatsApp group in who the finalists are and who will be the proposer and the position of the uh, motion. And we for judges to have a discussion, we have created a Google Meet and the link has been shared with the judges. So the discussion will not be in the Zoom platform to make sure that it's confidential and all the judges will be present into the meet. So I will request the judges that to join the meet link there and after the as soon as the photo is done. So can we like have a photo? I think everybody is on board. Ishita, can you click a photo?
Uh, is anyone with a laptop? Because I am on my tab and it is not in the best view possible.
I can take it if
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
Arto.
so much.
uh, countdown what 3, 2, 1. Anything else you want?
Sir, SCORA hearts.
Yeah, you want to do anything crazy which you want to, which you want YouTube to see all the time, you can do that. It's going to be in YouTube forever, I guess.
We can all do SCORA hearts if it's like possible for all of you. Yes.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Done.
Okay, so
Thank you so
please,
much.
yeah, you can switch off your cameras and the mics, and I will request the judges again to please join the meet. Hello everyone, how are you? Yeah.
Gia, could you tell if that 15 minutes is like going to start now or was it already running all along?
It was already running.
Okay,
Like
cool,
as
cool.
told, we will start with the final debate now. I have sent a reminder into the group for everyone to join so that we can start.
Cool.
We will wait 1 more minute for the participants to join and our second judge to join. After that, we will start with the debate as soon as possible. Our judge is here with us. So congratulations everyone for being selected to the final round of this debate. I would like to get a heads up so that everyone is here for the debate. We selected the two teams that ranked the most as per the criteria that was set by the judges and the organizers. So the team selected for this is Team A as the proposer. Team A, Arun, Raesh, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. For opposition, the team selected was Team C. Shruti, Harsh, Archit, are you here?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
here.
Perfect. I will be acting as a moderator for the final round of the debate. The topic of the debate is legalizing sex work would be the most effective way to reduce human trafficking and gender based violence within the industry. We will follow the same format as the one uh, we followed in the semi-finals. So from team A, the proposal side, can I know who the first speaker will be?
From team A, it is me, invisible.
Okay. We will start as soon as you are ready to go. You will have 2 minutes to speak.
Should I start?
Yeah, you should.
Honorable judges, today we stand for a truth backed by data, by lived realities, and by global evidence. Legalizing sex work is one of the most effective pathways to reducing human trafficking and gender based violence within the industry. According to the UNODC, nearly 50% of all detective trafficking victims worldwide are trafficked for sexual exploitation. In India, NCRV 2023 reports over 2,200 trafficking cases, with many survivors pushed into underground, unregulated sex markets where violence is invisible and justice unreachable. Countries like New Zealand, under the Prostitution Reform Act 2003, saw a significant drop in forced threats and improved reporting of violence after decriminalization. The United Nations CEDAW Committee and the UNAIDS Advisory Group both affirm that legal regulation reduces exploitation and strengthens right. In India, sex work itself is technically not legal, but the Immoral Traffic Prevention Act criminalizes everything around it, making workers vulnerable to police harassment and trafficking rings. Our solutions would be a national regulatory framework under Labour Ministry oversight, mandatory registration of establishments, integration with Nirbhaya Fund for GBB protection, stronger enforcement of the Palermo Protocol against traffickers, community policing, helplines, and exit pathways for minors. Ladies and gentlemen, criminalization
36
breeds
left.
fear. Legalization brings Ladies and gentlemen, criminalization breeds fear, legalization brings safety near. To end the abuse and to stop the crime, regulating sex work is a step in time. Thank you.
Yeah. Now we will have a speaker from the opposition team. Can I know who will start from the opposition?
I'll start.
Okay, you are free to go ahead.
Good evening, respected judges and everybody present here. This motion, it is a dangerously seductive theory. It suggests that by making an industry legal, we can magically sensitize it of exploitation, but the evidence and the logic show a more troubling picture. Legalization often acts as a cure, does not act as a cure, but a permission slip that extends the market for exploitation. On human trafficking, legalizing the sex trade doesn't reduce the demand for trafficking, it often increases it. A larger legal market creates a bigger pool, and traffickers rush into the meat and demand with often underage and often more exploitable illegal supply. This isn't a speculation. Major studies from the countries like Germany and Netherlands show the legalization that coincided with a significant rise in both human trafficking and the size of illegal underground market. Coming to gender-based violence, the core transaction is unchanged. You cannot regulate away the inherent power, imbalance, and vulnerability in the sale of intimate access. By making the industry seem normal, it can make it harder for the victims to report abuse. They'll be told, like, this is your job, then what do you expect? For a vast majority in this industry, especially those driven by poverty, addiction, and coercion, this is not a career choice, it's a survival strategy. Legalizing doesn't reduce them, it just taxes them and gives their exploitation a government stamp. So, what is the
30
effective
left.
way? It's the Nordic model, which decriminalizes the sellers to allow them to seek help, while criminalizing the buyers to shrink demand. It focuses reduce the resources on exciting services, not tax revenues. It targets the exploiters and not the exploited. Legalizing isn't a progressive solution, it capitalist one that puts industry interest over the human dignity. To reduce trafficking and violence, we must reduce
Time
demand
over.
and support
Time over.
survivors. Thank
Okay.
you.
Now we will have the speaker two from team A. Who can I
Yeah.
know who the speaker? Okay. You
And
can start.
so, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin talking about law and policy, let us talk about reality. Behind every closed door in an unregulated brothel is a woman who cannot scream, report, cannot run. Not because she chose silence, but because the law chose to silence her. Today's sex workers live in the shadows, afraid of police raids, afraid of traffickers, unseen by the very system that should protect them. Criminalization does not end exploitation. It pushes women deeper into the control of those who profit from her and profit from fear. Legislation is not about glorifying sex work. It's about giving women something they've been denied for decades, a name, a voice, a right to safety. We're not guessing whether this works. We're not guessing it. Countries like New Zealand have shown that when sex workers are treated as workers and not criminals, they gain the courage to walk into a police station, to refuse violent clients, and to leave abusive pimps. And that courage saves lives. In India, our own system, international ITPA, traps women between two predators, that is police and the traffickers. International conventions like CEDAW, CEDAW, and the Palermo Protocol call on us to protect, not persecute, those in vulnerable industries. Legislation is how we turn this commitment into real protection, not just paperwork. Our vision is practical and it's very clear. License, safe workspaces, GBV reporting, authority to ensure dignity, guaranteed healthcare, shelters, and exit options, and strict age
30 seconds
verification to
left.
shut traffickers out. But because at its heart, legislation rests on one simple truth: where the law brings light, exploitation loses its power. To end abuse, to expose traffickers, to return safety to those who are forced into silence, legislation is not the risk, it's the rescue. So that's why we firmly stand for this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Arun. Can we get the speaker for round two from the team opposition, team C?
Yes, that's going to be me.
Okay, you can start.
Okay, so I'll start by hitting three gaps which I felt that was left. The first one that I feel was the demand explosion. Basically, legalization signals open season, right? Germany, for example, legalized the whole sex workers thing, registered sex workers, uh, quad, and then what happened is it quadrupled to around 4 lakh, right? But trafficking surged 30% when they legalized it. And the imported coerced women from from Eastern Europe and everything that took a major surge, right? When we talk about the Netherlands, for example, somebody pointed out about Netherlands. Then we also know that Netherlands saw around 7,000 to 8,000 trafficked victims post legalization. So I do not. So I firmly believe that the legal front is equal to an illegal flood. Secondly, GBV is unchanged, right? I do not think that legalization has had an effect in GBV. Regulations fails. I feel regulation fails victims. New Zealand's legal model, for example, 45% workers still face client violence yearly. 80% want out but can't. So legal doesn't stop assaults. It just adds paperwork while the perpetrators rebrand as managers. Or, for example, the pimps, what you know them, they rebrand themselves as managers.
30
Thirdly,
seconds left.
thirdly and last point that I would like to add upon, which I would want to focus on, is the health and exit crisis. Legal workers suffer around 10x the STI rates, 50% plus the PTSD and the traumas. Resources resources go to brothel, taxes, not trauma cares, right? Or neither housing or jobs. Compare Rhode Island, a partial,
Time
where in
over.
the
Time over. Okay.
okay, thank you.
We are done with the round two and we'll now move forwards with the rebuttal round. Judges, do you have the questions for team A, the proposal for this motion?
Okay. By the way, great thoughts put out by everyone. So for team A, I have a question. We have been talking about the Palermo Protocol and other different protocol that has come into place, which let's take Palermo Protocol into consideration. It's been 25 years that has been around, right? But still, we have seen, there are cracks in it through which, the traffickers are still operating on basis of it. So how do you think, uh, having stringent laws are going to prevent traffickers from operating, with the legal framework behind them?
Lila, do we have a question from you?
I was too focused on his question. I forgot that I need to ask. Okay, my question is how you ensure that the legalization like won't increase exploitation too.
Team A, you have 30 seconds.
Sorry,
Think.
could you please repeat that second question?
Yeah, of course. My question is how are you gonna ensure that legalization doesn't gonna increase exploitation?
Okay, you have 30 seconds to think of an answer and then we'll start.
Um, okay, can I actually begin?
Yeah, you can start. You can
For
start
the
as yeah.
So for the first questions, when you mentioned even with protocols, traffickers still, run rampant and they exploit a lot. For this, when we actually legalize it, of course, traffickers won't magically disappear. But today they operate in total invisibility. So when we legalize it, they stand out. So you crack down on the illegal supply when you know what is the legal supply, and you bring down the iron hands. The same logic applies here. So nowadays, traffickers hide inside the industry. Under legalization, they stand out. So that would be for the first question. Second question, exploitation will only increase when the demand grows without control. Legalization is not about opening the floodgates. It's about putting strict gates around the industry. You legalize it, you regulate it properly, and you bring down, you bring down, the iron hand on the people who have like illegal channels out there. So, bring out strict gates around the industry so they don't get exploited. So that's my answer to your question. Arisa, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, so sir mentioned that after even Palermo protocol came in, there have been many other reports. But we would like to mention over here, legalization does not completely make it zero. We are saying it will substantially reduce it. And coming so it will increase the visibility, it will increase the visibility, accountability, and also the level of monitoring that is done. And another question that ma'am asked was what were the solutions we are bringing is like, as I mentioned in my speech, like safe licensed workplaces, regulatory board that ensures dignity, and reporting desks in red light areas, GBV reporting desks in the red light areas, and strict age verification, and also guaranteed access to the healthcare and shelters and exit options for the survivors. These are some of the like solutions we had proposed.
Time over. Now we'll move towards the rebuttal for opposition. Judges, do you have the question for opposition?
Okay, so it's a basic question that if y'all are telling no, it shouldn't be criminal, it shouldn't be legalized, but we know how it works. Like if things are criminalized, it becomes very difficult in a country like India to report violence, and exploitation and trafficking is in the rise, right? So if you are of the notion that legalizing will give them the empowerment to do it under a legal lens. But if it is criminalized, how can the workers tackle issues such as reporting violence or exploitation and trafficking without the fear of being arrested or punished for what they do?
Yes, I also wanted to ask the same question. So yes.
You have 30 seconds to think.
Should I go? Should I go, Paul? Yeah.
Yes, you can start.
Well, I think what we are arguing basically is, yeah, exactly what you pointed out as well. Criminalizing the workers makes reporting actually very difficult. It's harder, which is why what we are trying to do is we are trying to put out an alternative that of not criminalizing workers. It's decriminalization of workers and criminalization of buyers and exploiters is what we are proposing. Survivors, wherein the survivors are not punished, so they can go to the police and maybe face the system without fear. But then, yeah, there is an issue of lack of reporting again. But what I want to point out is what even if you legalize the whole system, right? What goes on inside of a closed door, and how do you explain that, right? What goes on inside of a closed door when there is a person and there's a sex worker? What she faces is something that she needs to put out, right? So that's again is on her, right? That's the matter that I feel should be taken up as well, which we are missing out on. Thank you. Would you like to add anything, Shruti?
I Yeah, I would like to add to this. The first question we must ask is like, this is an agency for whom? For the privileged, educated, independent contractor, or for the majority, which is poverty, addiction, child abuse, or trafficking? The language of choice is like a cruel joke, right? Legalizing and the institutional
30 seconds left.
legalization will just institutionalize that exploitation. The main concern isn't our morality, it's the material reality. So we should prioritize the agency to leave over the right to be exploited in a state sanctioned system rather than criminalization.
You're done? You have six
Yeah.
seconds. Okay. Now we will move forwards with the closing statement. Can I know who from the team A proposer will do will be the speaker for the closing statement?
I'll be doing it.
Okay, you can start.
So, honorable judges, opponents, today we have shown with clarity and compassion that legalizing sex work is not about promoting an industry again. It's about protecting the people that are trapped inside it. Criminalization keeps the women in the shadows where traffickers thrive and they abuse. Legalization brings visibility, dignity, and power to say no without fear. And I think that is very important. With regulation through licensed workplaces, GBV reporting desks, healthcare access, and strict age verification, we take
30 seconds
control
left.
away from traffickers and return to the women themselves. International commitment like CEDAW, Palermo Protocol will be strengthened, and that's how we deliver the protection in real life through legislation. And because law brings light, exploitation loses its power. Regulation is not the risk, regulation is the rescue. Let's break the silence. For these reasons, we urge you to please support this motion. Thank you.
Okay. Can we get the speaker from a position for the closing statement?
Yeah, sure. Respected judges, esteemed audience, and my worthy opponents. The proposition claims that legalization of sex work will reduce human trafficking and gender based violence. But it is a very oversimplified solution. Legalization does not erase poverty, crime, or the power imbalance that drive exploitation. They have not explained how legalization would actually protect vulnerable people from being forced or pressured into this industry. As our team has shown, reducing trafficking and gender based violence require targeting demand, supporting survivors, and protecting vulnerable people, not legitimizing exploitation. Legalization is not a solution, it risks normalizing abuse. To truly reduce trafficking and gender based violence, we must focus on systemic change and survivor support. Thank you very much.
You have 15 seconds left.
I would like to add, we are, again, to put it in simple words, we want to propose that we do not want to make the person being beaten illegal, but the people who make but we want to make the people who are paying and profiting from that violence illegal.
Time over.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to all the finalists who have given their views in the debate and have participated in the debate. All the rounds of the debate are over. Congratulations, everyone. The results of this debate will be announced the after this meeting through WhatsApp calls, and I will give the mic to our judges to share their views.
Okay, I think I'll go first. But first of all, a lot of wonderful speakers here. Even in the semifinals, we saw a lot of wonderful speakers. That's great. Like, and listening from you people. And for God's sake, please don't call us sir and ma'am. We feel very old. We don't want to feel very old. Please. So yes, like like how I mentioned, like there was one time when I was on the other side of this thing, like where I was a participant, then an organizer, and now coming as a judge. It's a complete circle kind of a thing for me. But yes, I know, like online is not the best way, to put your debating skills forward. But obviously, with the limited resources that we have, the people who can put their ideas, put their thoughts forward, they are the winners. There's no winner and loser, obviously, but they were great speakers. Like I won't take names, but like all of you were great. A lot of you stood up, and I was like in awe of a lot of people who spoke. So, uh, uh, you know, uh, like given the short time that was given before the final round, the way you all put your ideas together, accumulated them, and and have put it forward. Kudos to all of you. So yeah, that's all for me. And like today might be the end for 16 days of activism for gender-based violence, but it's an ongoing thing. Every day of the year, we have to fight for people, uh, who are less privileged than us. Let's put it that way, because uh, it is very important that we try to identify our privileges and try to be the voice for the people who are less privileged. That's how we are going to move forward as communities, as a society. That's very important for us. So yes, uh, keep advocating for things that you believe in. Be the activist or the advocate you always wanted to be, and keep doing the great work. And thank you for having me here. Uh, the three standing committees. It was really fun and even a learning thing for us. Thank you so much.
I also want to thank to all of you. Your ideas, your thoughts really enlightened me. I learned a lot of from you, and that was very insightful. And I believe that the topics were the very great. And this is something that we all know about it, and we try to fight as a future health workers, or maybe you already are doctors. And well, yeah, and let's keep talking. Let's keep do our best in order to. Some people, as Barton mentioned, can't really um, make their voices clear to whole world, but I believe that we are able to do that with other initiatives or activities. So let's keep doing this, guys. And all of you are perfect. Thank you very much. And it was an honor to be judge here.
Thank you so much, Leila. Now I will be giving the mic to Mahi to speak on the behalf of all the national officers.
So once again, hello to all my lovely fans. You all have been as amazing and as wonderful as you have in the past 16 days. All the insightful ideas you have put in today were amazing. And I want to once again congratulate all the members who made it to the final round. Trust me, you were more worthy than anyone, and we loved each and every single point you have put forward. It has never been an easy decision to select one from you all, and we love all your ideas. But that is how it's going to proceed. Please make sure none of these voices are just silenced at the end of this debate. We still have a long journey moving ahead. So to conclude that the 16 days past journey, it has been a long time. And I believe all of our voices have been heard through the voices campaign we have here.